It's 89.3 The Current. I'm Steve Seel, and we've got a truly awesome guest here with us on the phone today. In fact, it's kind of shocking that I find myself even talking to him, but some days you just get lucky. So from one of the most successful bands in the history of modern music here, it is my pleasure to welcome from Oasis, Mr. Noel Gallagher. Thank you, Noel. Thanks for being there.
Oh, well, that's what I do. I just exist at the end of telephones for people like yourself.
Well, a little more than that. Where are we reaching you from today here?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
And what stage of the tour are we in here exactly? Are you taking a break from touring, or?
No, we were on our way down to Mexico, where we've got a few shows there, and then back to the States for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we're going back to England for Christmas, and then we've got another 9 months after that on the road. So we're not even halfway through yet.
Oh man! Well, I know that
that's all right. I mean, people just say, "Oh wow, it must be really tough." It's not. It's great. You know, this is what we do.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I mean, especially given recent events. You know, so.
Yeah, but we can't dwell on things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of stuff you've got to let it go. Man. You just let it go.
Do you let it go? I mean, it's
of course. It's for the Canadian judicial system to sort out. Now, it's nothing to do with me. Do you know what I mean? It's out of my hands. It's for someone else to deal with now.
Right. Exactly. Well, you know,
I mean, needless to say, somebody is getting sued at this very second. You know, the compensation will go a long way to relieving my pain.
So for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about here, there was a rather unfortunate incident when there was it's a tackling that happened on stage in Canada at a show recently, and so I guess
I think you'll find I was violently assaulted.
Well, exactly. It was pretty ugly. So
yeah.
I mean, the first thing that those who are interested in you and who care about you want to know is, how are you doing?
I was given the all clear last weekend. Everything's healed. Everything's fine. All the ribs are now in the correct place, and we move onwards and upwards.
This doesn't affect your feelings about, I want double the security on stage, or we're going to retreat to this corner of our world, or anything like that.
No. It's not. My part in this tour will not be defined by that incident. I don't ever want to look around and see 15 security guards and think, well, that was because of what happened over there. It's like it's happened once in 18 years. I'd hazard a guess it may never happen again. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't predict stuff like that, and it's just it's a freak. I wouldn't say it's an accident, but it's a freak occurrence. It happened because, well, nobody knows why yet. But
exactly.
It's not going to define my life from now on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And so we won't dwell on it anymore. I'll ask you a couple of things that I've been dying to ask you, and I want to start with a silly question here, actually, and that is that. I actually realize that as I'm about to say this, almost.
As long as you're prepared for a silly answer.
Oh, I'm very prepared for a silly answer. I'm expecting one, in fact. So, okay. This also sounds like the setup for a joke as it comes out. But anyway, I guess you heard about the Pope the other day coming out and forgiving John Lennon for saying that Beatles were bigger than Jesus Christ.
Oh, did he really?
Did you not hear that?
Very magnanimous of him, wasn't it?
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you know. And what I was wondering is if you hadn't heard about that, then I guess there's no word on whether or not Liam might have his absolution coming as well for saying what he did about Oasis being an Oasis being bigger than God.
Well, those kind of things that are said fairly tongue in cheek. But go back to the thing that John Lennon said. He also said in that interview that Christianity would shrink and die. And I think if you look at, particularly in our country where we live in England, you know what I mean? It's like churches aren't full anymore. So his prediction was right, I think. But I think it's quite ironic that the Pope has now forgiven him. You know what I mean? It's not for the Pope to forgive anybody. Mm-hmm. Not that I have anything against the Pope. He's obviously a very, very nice man. But who cares what he thinks about John Lennon?
So as far as spirituality goes, I'd heard some rumblings of you saying about Dig Out Your Soul, the new record. You described it, and stop me if I'm misquoting you, but something to the effect of it being a religious Armageddon. Did you say that? Yes.
Well, actually, the guy that created the very psychedelic album cover, he went away to design the cover, and obviously he was starting with a blank canvas. When he came back, he said he'd listened to it, and he said, it's like the soundtrack to Religious Armageddon. We were like, wow, really? Is that what you got from that? That's amazing. Because none of us, I guess out of all of us, I think Liam is the most spiritual, and strictly because he's an idiot. And the rest of us are kind of like, whatever. But I think Liam believes I think Liam still believes in Father Christmas, which I find quite disturbing. But I think Liam believes in life after death and all that carry on.
Yeah.
I believe in life on Earth, and that's it. You know, there's no second chances.
In the course of your enjoying life on Earth, then I'm wondering about some things that I understand you've recently developed an interest in. And first of all, someone told me that
porn.
That's not recent, is it?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that you've developed a fondness for firearms. Is that correct? Did I get the right information on that?
Well,
What's the story on that?
Let me straighten this out. We were at, when we were mixing our album in LA last year. We were here for 6 weeks, and we have weekends off. So the first weekend is spent running around shopping and stuff. By the time you get to the 5th or 6th week, you've kind of run out of things to do. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And one of the guys who was working at the studio was suggested that we go to a shooting range, and I have to say it was highly addictive. There was firing assault rifles and all sorts. It was. I got up there and I picked up a semi-automatic rifle and fired it 5 times in a row at a target, and I got 5 out of 5. And some guy was going, "Have you sure you've never fired a gun before?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm English. You know what I mean? We don't even know what guns are."
Exactly, but you're a natural then.
It seems to be. I could be a natural sniper. You know?
Oh no!
I have the patience and the mental discipline.
Oh boy!
You know, but I was, you know, it's not. I haven't taken a fondness for it, but I've got to say it was a highly enjoyable day. But I'm glad we don't have them in England.
Are you? You're not interested in starting to? I guess would it even be possible for you to collect them? I mean, you'd have to.
No,
them over.
No, not at all. Well, if I had a gun, I'd be a solo artist because I'd have probably taken every member of my band out by now.
All right. Well, what about Las Vegas? Somebody told me that you've taken to Las Vegas as well. So I had to ask what that means. Are we talking about specifically gambling or singing, dancing, show extravagances?
No. I'm not a gambler, man. We've been in Las Vegas over the weekend because a friend of ours is Ricky Hatton, the boxer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he was fighting. He was defending his world titles against some Italian from New York, and he asked us to carry the belts out. But I like Las Vegas. A lot of people go there and they find it vulgar, do you know what I mean? That it's all based around money and gambling. But I'm glad there's a place like that on the earth. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad. Who doesn't want to see a 55-foot Coke bottle in the middle of the street? What's wrong with that?
Guess.
Who doesn't want to see fake pirate ships, going up the street 4 o'clock in the morning? That's brilliant, White tigers, great. I love all that kind of gear, man. I like it. It's just, it's crazy, There's you can smoke indoors. That's what I like about it.
Oh, boy. Probably the only place remaining in America.
I think it is the only place in Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas. But I do, I couldn't stay there for more than 48 hours. It'd drive you insane. Well,
that's what I would think. That's why I was curious about finding out.
Well, we actually went out last night and seen a show which is called Fab Four Mania, which is like a Beatles tribute band. And they do all they do all the costume changes and stuff, which was great. And, I always have a good time there, man. Cool.
I don't want to let this thing go without asking you at least 1 or 2 things of some kind of substance here, or else I'll get fired. So, you guys have gotten to the point now where there's a whole generation of bands who are influenced by you. I mean, does that freak you out? To look out there and see younger faces out there? Is it cool?
Yeah, it freaks me out when they suck.
Okay, so are there bands and you look out and you're like, oh, they're so clearly ripping us off, and that? Oh no, not at all. I mean, the bands that it was very flattering when a whole slew of bands came along in one go. It was like the Arctic Monkeys and Razorlight and the Libertines and Kasabian and a few others, and they all kind of checked for Oasis, and it was all great because I liked all those bands. But then there's other bands like the Kaiser Chiefs, for instance, and you just go, oh, that's awful. Do you know what I mean? How did you listen to Definitely Maybe and come up with that nonsense? But so it's kind of it's a double-edged sword, really. Who do you still idolize, though? I mean, are there any musicians that you still revere and feel totally sheepish around yourself? No. I mean, there's people that I like on a musical level that I think are way better than I'll ever be. But I would never get sheepish around them. You know what I mean? I don't really get starstruck, and that's not born out of arrogance. It's like they're just human beings like me. Right. As men, they're not any different to me on a human level. They're not wizards. They have no magical powers.
in the case of, say, Paul Weller, he can play guitar better than I can, which is amazing. And in the case of Neil Young, he's like a living legend from the '60s, you know. But I wouldn't be starstruck around them.
Mm-hmm. Would you covet their gear though? Like, would you be somebody who would be like, "Oh, I've got this Neil Young's whatever amp, Fender amp"?
Yeah, well, Paul Weller's gave me one of his guitars for my 30th birthday, and yeah, stuff like that. I would, I guess. You know, if you're listening, Neil, which I guess you're probably not.
Well,
but if you are, Neil wants to give me any of his equipment, I'll take any of your guitars off your hands, you know. But no, they're kind of they're musical heroes, but not in a they're not heroes in the way that like Batman is a hero because he's a superhero, right? Or like Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Noel Gallagher, it has been my pleasure talking to you today from Los Angeles, and the show coming up here in Minneapolis, December 10th, the Target Center. Touring with Ryan Adams and the Cardinals, North American tour here this time around, touring through December, I guess, then a European tour starting January 12th in France.
Yeah, we were trying to come to Minneapolis when it's at its coldest.
You've succeeded.
Yeah, no, believe you me, I've brought a very big woolly hat.
Hope to chat again, Noel. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.